house?
Yes.
How do you find out?
I just told him that I didn't want to get involved.
Wait, no, I want to describe the scene. How did it happen? What happened?
He knocked on my door. I think my father answered. Let him in. I came downstairs. He asked for his money back. I told him
He comes downstairs and sees you, and is he surprised to see you?
Yeah, he's very surprised to see me. His father invites me in, offers me drink and everything. I'm just some stranger off the street, you know.
That's sweet.
So,
all right, so
hey.
the father lets you in.
Yeah, so I come and I say, you know, I want my security deposit back. You haven't given me a list of damages.
And he comes down the steps. What time of the night or day is it?
It was around dinner time, maybe around 7 p.m. or so.
Okay, Cornelius comes down in his pajamas.
Yeah, he came down pajama bottoms down the stairs.
And then he sees you and says, what are you doing here? Does he recognize you or doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he recognized me.
Okay, and then what? Did you recognize him?
He says, I got your voicemails. And
over the course of the last 9 months?
Yeah, and I've been looking into it. And he says, you know, the mortgage company is going to give you security deposit back. And I say, you must be kidding me. I'm not that dumb.
Yes, he was. He was kidding you to get you out of his house. All right, so why won't you give him his security deposit back? What's the answer?
The answer ain't gonna be all that good. Will the plaintiff get more than $4,100? Judge Milliot rules next. So does a landlord have a duty to tell the tenant, hey, by the way, when you rent this, my place is in foreclosure?
Definitely. You need to give the tenant notice so they have another place to go.
But they still own the place technically.
No, he does need to tell them.
Why?
Because they got a right to know.
Why do they have a right to know? Why?
Because they have a chance of losing their property, losing their rent, and having the building taken from out from underneath them.
That's a fair point. Going inside the courtroom.
After the conversation we had in the living room, I told him that my lawyer and the mortgage company were trying to work a deal for me to get the...
Okay, we're not talking about you and your deal and your problems. We have a very specific issue. He gave you a security deposit. Yeah, the answer is you don't have the money or you don't want to give him the money.
No, I had the money. I just didn't have an answer for him.
There's no answer. There's nothing to discuss. Give him back the security deposit. That's what you got to do.
He showed up at my house. At that time, I would...
What did he show up at your house? Because he'd been calling you for 11 months and you weren't answering the guy.
He called me maybe 3 times.
HSBC Bank. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, you can't, at some point they catch up with you.
He called me approximately 3 times. And yes, I never returned his phone call.
Okay, here's the deal, my friend. I don't understand what your defense is to giving him back a security deposit. I also don't understand what your premise is on suing for $4,000.
Well, Your Honor, the first 3 months I did live there, it was fine. I didn't have any problems. Early April comes, I get this ejectment notice.
Yes, I know, it's very traumatic, but you continue to live there.
Yeah,
and you knew because you had, apparently you hired a lawyer that, you know, you probably had did you have a lawyer friend who was helping you?
No,
okay.
It was just...
You actually hired a lawyer?
Yes, through the university, actually, one of their lawyers.
Okay, so are you out money for the lawyer?
I am out money for the lawyer.
What money are you out for the lawyer?
Don't have it with me. It was about $250.
If you had it with you, I'd consider awarding it to you.
I understand, but...
Right, okay. Right. But I have that little problem that you don't have it with you, which leads me to maybe... Yeah, well,
I wasn't including that in this.
No, but you should, because the stuff you are including, you're not going to get. You don't get to turn around when you've lived somewhere for 8 months and say, oh, and by the way, now give me back all of that money that I paid for rent 8 months, because everybody has to pay to live where they are. And if everybody else has to pay, you have to pay too. You don't get to turn around and say, well, because as distasteful as this may feel to you, at the end of the day, really, what should happen is HSBC Bank should be suing him to get the rent money from you.
Right.
But he got all that money in December, and you lived there, so you got the benefit of that bargain. So you don't get back rent. Now, as for his security deposit, not only the security deposit is $355, right?
Right.
Not only am I going to order you to pay him his security deposit, but you live in a state that has some very strict laws about this, okay? And the strict laws are this. You don't send out a notice to him, as is required by the laws of your state and many states, saying, I'm going to keep your security deposit and here's why, pal. States have laws some states have laws that govern that say you've got to send out within the first 30 days an itemized letter saying I'm keeping it as monetary damages because you didn't pay rent, as damages because you wrecked the carpet, whatever it is, you got to say it. You didn't do that. Of course you didn't do that because you had nothing to say in the letter. Okay, so you live in a state where it's a punishment for you. If you don't do it, you're going to end up paying double the amount that you were owed. So he is entitled to double the security deposit, not just the security deposit. And that security deposit was $300 and what? 55?
55, yes, Your Honor.
355 times 2 is what you're going to pay him. $710. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Well, so the defendant really got slammed here with double damages. What's your feeling coming out? I'm
obviously not happy, but judge says it is. That's what it is.
Well, yeah. Don't you realize how you bungled the whole thing?
Oh, well, I thought what I did wasn't wrong, so I don't know what to say.
Well, tell me what you thought when you opened the door and saw the guy there standing there and you're in your pajamas.
I don't actually think I was in my pajamas. I was in shorts and a T-shirt, but if so be it.
So that's the answer? You weren't in your pajamas?
I was in shorts and a T-shirt.
Great. Head right down there. Did you realize it wasn't pajamas, it was shorts?
It looked like pajamas to me. That's all I know. So.
You think you shocked him when you showed up on his door asking for your money?
I had to, you know. He wouldn't return my phone calls, and he wouldn't respond to any other voicemails, so, hey, that's what I had to do. I think the judge's ruling was a little bit unfair, though. He gets to keep all this money that he wasn't entitled to because the bank actually owned a house when the lease started on January 12th, so that's all I got to say. It was a bogus lease.
What are you studying at Penn?
Computer science. I finished my master's in May.
Over to Harvey.
Okay, Kurt, here's the thing. I believe it is a legal duty on the part of the landlord to say my place is in foreclosure if it is, because that is a material fact, as this gentleman says, and it's something the tenant should be able to consider before renting the apartment.